Guys, I've been ridiculously roasted on my UI, and it's fair enough. I launched an MVP a few weeks ago, and like there's a ton of people that have signed up, but man, the comments have been hilarious. Like there's one guy on Twitter who went absolutely wild, ripping the MVP to shreds, like, this UI shouldn't do this. You type a negative into the calculator, it goes negative. It's like, yeah, it's a calculator. Like anyway, going absolutely nuts. But I think it's the funniest thing, and almost like one of these ironic parts about building startups and MVPs and apps and everything, is that it doesn't matter how bad the MVP looks, you just need to get something out, and then you can iterate over time and make it work. But also, on a very serious note, for those of you that are wondering why I haven't been fixing a few of those things, I'm focused on the integrations. I'm integrating Slack, I'm integrating WhatsApp, Telegram, like all these other things that are actually important for people that have already signed up. They've gotten past that landing page, so it doesn't matter, and I'm focusing on stuff inside the app. But yeah, in the future, I guess I will like make it beautiful, make it tidy. We'll make the landing page beautiful. That's funny. I got ripped to shreds for it, but I don't care. Just for the record, I was here yesterday and I beat Pave. So, just letting you know. No, hey, I know what happened. Pave was too busy eating coffee. All right, just got off another call, first call of the day, another person who wants the WhatsApp integration. So that's gonna be good. We're gonna set that live at the end of June, start of July. So she's pretty excited, got a cool community. We have got 9:30 till 5:30 p.m. blocked out on the calendar. So we're free, we're ready to go, which means I can focus fully on the Slack integration and finishing that up. Yesterday I got a lot done, specifically on actually connecting the Slack community, authorizing with OAuth, getting that saved to my database, and then previewing that inside my dashboard. The next step now, also verifying it as well. Like I was able to verify the connection just like we do with the Discord. The next step now is with each price, I want to be able to assign Slack access, and specifically like a member role or whatever that might be inside my Slack workspace to a specific price. That is the goal for today. If I can do that, and then potentially if I can get some logic for the back end, because the thing is when someone purchases, we do all this webhook stuff in the background. And so I also need to figure out the Slack logic for assigning access. I think it's gonna be a whole lot easier. It should be similar to Discord actually with the OAuth flow, where someone clicks a link, brings them to our site. It's gonna figure out if they're even allowed to do an OAuth right now. And if they are, then they'll OAuth the Slack. So yeah, we're gonna need a couple of endpoints on the back end to do that. We're gonna need a new route on the front end, which will be like a /Slack/OAuth or some sort of route like that. Yeah, and then we should be good to go. We've got all day. It's only 9:15, so I think might be able to finish it up today. Let's see. It is currently 1:07. Pave and I have just had lunch. Now we need to get straight back into it. This is what's going on right now. I've got this modal that currently was responsible for all the Discord permissions and assigning essentially what the user gets when they actually pay. So now what I've done is I've added, let's just refresh this. I've added an ability to now see the Slack side. So if we go to Discord, you see you've got this like member role, you got some information about Discord. If we go to Slack, now you've got the sub creators. And so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna render those permissions, and what that involved was just essentially a few more DTOs, a few more objects to send back from the back end, and we've now got some new calls as well. So when you actually select a Slack platform connection on this front end in this modal, it's actually doing a completely separate call to the Slack service. It's going to first retrieve all the available Slack channels inside the connected platform, and it's also going to return all of the selected Slack channels that you've already selected inside the specific tier. So yes, returning both of those objects back, which are just, I believe, just a Slack channel DTO. It's like a ID and a name, and then based on that, now what we want to do is give the user an ability to select multiple channels, save those in that tier, and then lastly, all we're going to need to do is when a user actually subscribes, Apple Pays, and a successful customer subscription is created, on the back end, we then want to generate a way for the user to claim those channels, and most importantly, get access into the Slack channel. Okay, sounds like a lot, but it's actually not too bad. We just need to get this done first on this front end modal, and then mainly, it's pretty much just all back end from there. All right, let's do it. It's Friday again. Had a couple Guinnesses after work yesterday. Didn't sleep so well. Turns out I'm like a 50-year-old already. Shout out to all the 50-year-olds that are watching the channel though. A couple of things today. It's Pave's last day in the US of A, so it's very sad. He's going to go back to Croatia this afternoon. Today we're going to finish off the Slack integration. Lastly, all we need to do, because now that we've got the OAuth flow working, we can assign the base channels that a user is going to jump into when they join the workspace. Now all we need to do is actually hook up the flow, so when someone purchases, it's actually going to give them that stuff via email, the same way we do with Discord. But the way we're going to need to do that is create a new OAuth flow for Slack for the actual client side. And so that'll mean a new route on the Next.js app. It's also going to mean a couple of new endpoints just for like going back and forth with those tokens and the state. So yeah, a couple of things to do there, nothing too crazy, but that'll be good. That'll finish off the Slack, and then it's just really gonna be a lot about testing and going nuts. Also, shout out to Mike Strives. He set me up with a special deal, a lifetime deal of Feedify. So you're the man, thank you so much. So we're gonna be going nuts, integrating that this morning as well so that we can get as much like user feedback on the front end as we can. I've been actually wanting to do that for a while, I just haven't really bothered. There's been no kind of specific, I don't know, Apple plugin I've chosen, but yeah, shout out Mike, that's awesome. By the way, if you're ever in New York City, Meatpacking District, that rooftop right there, RH, the sickest rooftop. We found it the other day. That was the furniture store I was in on Instagram, if you follow me on Instagram. But yeah, we're gonna go find coffee. I need coffee, I'm barely awake. So yeah, I'm not a caffeine addict though, absolutely not. Oh, jeez. So get this, what are we at the beach? Let's go, baby. All right. Is today a public holiday? Because it's so quiet. I came in this coffee shop like 3 days ago and I left because it was so busy. I don't know what's going on. There's like no one on the street either. Maybe today's like some sort of holiday. I don't know. We're getting the Kiwi music. We've got Dave Dobbin pumping on the tracks right now. Look at this. Slice of heaven, baby. Here we go, this is a taste of New Zealand for you, bro. Check this out. That's what I'm talking about, baby. So we now have a complete system where users can integrate Slack with OAuth. It is going to sync their workspace to the backend, which then brings it into their dashboard, which is right here, as you've probably seen before. Then what they're going to be able to do is at some pricing tiers, they're going to be able to assign Slack channels, which will be the entry-level channels that people jump into inside the dashboard. But also, this is the really cool part. I've actually got it now, so you can have multiple perks, and a perk being like a Discord that you're a part of, and then also a Slack. So actually, technically, subs can actually support 2 platforms right now, which is super, super cool. But let me give you a quick run through of how this whole thing works. It's actually been wild. A lot of back-end stuff, a lot of front-end stuff, but it's all come together. Yeah, we're looking good. Check this out. All right, so as you can see, we've got a brand new account here, sub.me/Jacob again. We jump into connections and we have connected a Discord already. So we're looking good. Let's go ahead and connect our Slack. So we're going to connect that up, connect Slack. It's going to prompt an OAuth. We're going to go allow. That's going to redirect us back to do some quick magic behind the scenes, and boom, we are ready to go. We can recheck that. We can see the Slack is connected. And now let's jump into our pricing tiers. So we'll create a first pricing tier. Yep, we'll just call it membership. $7.99, that's cool. Create the tier. And now let's jump in. So we're going to go select platform connection. And first of all, let's first select a member role for our existing Discord. As usual, this is what it looks like, and that's how it currently is in production. But this is where it gets really cool. Edit tier. We're now going to select our sub creators Slack. We're going to go select channel, and we've got 3 current channels inside our Slack. One has got a super long name for some reason, but we're just going to add the general. And this is essentially just going to be the starter channels that we throw the new users into when they subscribe to your sub. So it's not quite the same as Discord, where you get given specific roles that are going to give you access to stuff. Slack is more, we're throwing everyone into the workspace. It's just where they're going to be placed at first. That's the most important. So yeah, we're going to give them the general, and let's say they can also have the random as well. Save channels, and as you can see, we now have Discord and Slack in one place. Pretty cool. This now leads us on to the hardest part, which, well, it's not the hardest part, it's just the most technical probably. It's when someone actually makes a purchase of a sub, we now need to give those people permission to all of those things all at once. For the meantime, I've just been using Discord. We've been using OAuth to give people access to the Discord channel and then give them all the premium roles. Now we've got to do that on top of giving someone Slack access. Now I know this is probably an edge case. In most cases, people will just use the Slack, but who knows? You never know how creative people want to be. And in my case, it's tested and shown that there are people that want the edge cases. So anyway, we're going to get onto that. It is currently 10 to 4. We're making progress. Now, something that I also saw in my Dev Club Discord, someone was asking, how do you actually figure out exactly what to focus on? And also, you've got so many different things that you can do now. You've raised money. You've potentially got the ability to hire a team. You've got infinite scope to build, right? Like there's people that want every platform, they want every feature, they want every single thing. How do I prioritize what to build and when I should build it? And for me, that's why in these first couple of weeks, it was super, super important for me to talk to real consumers, real customers, the kind of people, community club owners who would actually want to be using this service. And so I just had a ton. I don't know if you saw the last few videos, but a ton of 15-minute calls over the last couple of weeks with real creators, people that are actually running existing communities, some huge, some tiny, but in most cases, they all want very similar things. And it's really interesting when you actually start talking to customers, how things change from where you may have had an original hypothesis. For example, I thought that Discord and WhatsApp by far would be the 2 hottest ones. Turns out Slack is really hot, Telegram's really hot, and I think there's some amazing stuff that I can do here specifically that no one else is doing because I'm actually talking to the real people. And so I guess when it comes back to the question of what do I prioritize, how do I know what to even build, I am just hyper focused on talking to real people and building the exact things that they need. Now, obviously, yes, if you've got someone that's got 1 fan or 1 follower or someone that's going to jump into a Slack, you can't take everything they say and go, yeah, cool, they're a real customer, so I'm going to build everything for them. No, you need to identify the trends, and that's why you do a lot of calls. For me as well, I am not really talking to VCs. I'm not talking to anyone except real customers and building. That is it. I am hyper-focused on not doing anything that doesn't provide value to sub as a business. I don't do coffees, I don't do beers, I don't do anything. In fact, actually, okay, I say that, but I've had 1 coffee and I've had 1 beer, 2 different people. But for the most part, I am just hyper-focused on building and doing things that actually move the needle. Hence why my landing page still looks the way it does and how there's still thousands of bugs on it. For the most part, it actually works really well and it's clean. It's absolutely fine. The more I look at it, the more I hate it. And the more I want to change it, and the more I want to rip my hair out. The reality is, you just have to get stuff out and get people using it, and then you can start getting feedback. It's not the other way around. You can't just get feedback before you've even given something to someone for them to give feedback on. It doesn't make sense. And so yeah, to all the haters out there who are saying, hey dude, this is full of bugs, correct. Look, I'm just here building, I'm hyper-focused, and nothing's going to distract my focus. It might sound a little bit intense, but I think it's something that I've learned over the last few months, is that hyper-focus and the consistency in your daily practice and how you turn up and how you set your own motivation and your time and all that kind of stuff can be significant in how you ship and how you deliver to the people that you're trying to build for. So anyway, super exciting stuff on the horizon. I'm just staying super focused. I'm staying excited. I am excited. There's so many cool things going, and we've got a ton of amazing Slack creators onboarding over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, massive things to come. My brain is stuffed because we're working with the potential for multiple Discords and multiple Slacks being combined within one subscription tier. And I know this is super edge case, but it's also potentially something someone might want to do, where they have a Discord and they have a Slack. I don't know why you would, but someone might. And so yes, I've got the functionality 90% there. It can send out and understand to send out multiple like invites to all of those things based on what perks were assigned within the subscription tier. The thing that I'm stuck on right now is just some like Friday afternoon logic in my head where I'm going, holy moly. Essentially what I've got to do is I've got these like auth links that I send via email, and it gives you one-time access to jump in and authenticate yourself with like an OAuth system with either Discord or Slack, or in the future it'll be WhatsApp and Telegram as well. And I'm stuck on this thing right now, which is so dumb, and it's literally just a case of like Friday-itis, where I'm essentially just trying to, that's what I was gonna do. Instead of just doing like a single link that gives you an OAuth, as it currently does with Discord, you'll click a link, it'll take you to a page, it's gonna pull down an OAuth link if you're allowed it, it's then gonna redirect you into the OAuth and you'll authorize, that's cool. Now I've got it where it's going to send off that request. If there's one response that comes back, it'll redirect you. But if there's multiple, like a Slack, Discord, whatever, it'll give you the option based on your subscription tier that you have access to of which one would you like to authorize with. Okay, so yeah, that's what I've got to do. And that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. And I've got multiple different places in the back end that got to manage this. So yeah, we're figuring it out.